the first thing we have to do is to set ourselves within our temple. Now, the temple might be your bedroom, it might be this room we have here, it might be the living room, it might be the garden, it could be anywhere. The temple is basically the mental space that we work in, more than the physical space. Now, supposing this is the bedroom or the living room, I have to turn that from its ordinary function into my magical space in which I'm free to explore the psychological and esoteric concepts that I want to explore. One of the ways to do that is to use the lesser ritual, or the lesser banishing ritual, of the pentagram. And essentially what we're going to do is establish our circle, the magic circle. That's not the place in London you join if you're going to do card tricks and take to the stage. The magic circle is the space around us that defines our working area. Now essentially the magic circle has a very specific thing. What is on the inside of the circle is the microcosm. It's me, it's the inside of me. This is my inner world. What is outside of the circle is very much the rest of the world, the universe, the macrocosm. This is the Hermetic principle. So the inside of the circle is me, outside of the circle is everything that's not me. Now what I need to do is get this concept of myself fairly neutral and in a neutral place so that I can go about my magical operation. Essentially, I'm going from being an ordinary civilian to being magician. So my tax concerns, the problems with the next door neighbor because of the incense that was being burnt, or whatever it is, they have no place within the magic circle. The only thing that has place within the magic circle is the magician. All of those external concerns and worries must be left on the outside. So what we're going to do is do a ritual that in part serves to eliminate those things and to establish ourselves very much at its epicenter as a neutral force within the universe. So essentially we're going to utilize this ritual to banish those everyday concerns and worries and all that other stuff that's going on in order to go from being ordinary person to the person who's about to do magic. Now essentially, you could just do it like this. We step inside the circle, and we go this way, and we go away, all of you go away, all thoughts out, out, out. Then we go this way, always going to go clockwise for this one. All your thought forms go away, go on, out. You get the idea. We can then go around here and do the same, and scat, and then the same there. We could, if we wanted to, simply use the shamanic approach. We're going to get a whole bunch of sage, set fire to it and let it start smouldering, and wave it around, and wave it around, wave it around. You get the idea. So again, it's to send things out. If we were to use the chaos magicians approach, very valid approach, to go to each of the quarters and laugh, ha 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 ha. So you get yourself into that positive state. Again, to banish the negativity. Basically, it is to establish this space as a neutral space. However, we could do those simple things, but that's not why you're here. You're here for the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. So we're going to begin with something known as the kabbalistic cross. The kabbalistic cross has a relevance to kabbalistic practice. Classically, it's kabbalistic with a Q. Kabbalistic with a K is the Jewish Kabbalah. Kabbalistic with a C is the Christian Kabbalah. And kabbalistic with a Q is the magical Kabbalah. Who knew? This has a relationship to aspects on the Tree of Life, which for those with kabbalistic knowledge, you'll see them straight away. Just follow me with the words and the gestures, and then I'll explain them. It's Ateh, Ateh, then down to the groin, Malkuth, Malkuth, over to here, ve-Geburah, ve-Geburah, ve-Gedulah, ve-Gedulah, arms in front, and then we're putting down to here, le-Olahm, Amen. le-Olahm, Amen. So it's really easy. Ateh, Malkuth, ve-Geburah, ve-Gedulah, le-Olahm, amen. So very, very simple. Now, for anyone who is Israeli or a native Hebrew speaker, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Magicians, Kabbalists, people such as myself have been mangling the Hebrew language, basically because most of us don't speak Hebrew or know anyone that does. And so what we start to see are it's the complete destruction of the Hebrew language whilst we're pretending to speak Hebrew. So I have to apologize to anyone who's watching this who knows how these things are pronounced correctly. Here's the important detail. It doesn't matter how you pronounce them. Actually here, the words are largely the least important aspect of the ritual. The pronunciation is largely irrelevant. It is the intention behind it and the complex visualizations behind it that are actually the most important. The time that it becomes really important is if you're working in a magical group, so you're part of a group or a lodge, where there are other people who are participating. And in which case, the pronunciations start to become a little bit important, and the way that they're pronounced are very important. For example, if I'm saying Ateh, and someone else says Ateh, but we're doing that simultaneously, the ritual as a group is going to start falling apart quite quickly. So there must be an agreed upon synchrony in terms of how these things are performed if there's more than one practitioner. And herein lies the problem. Because practitioners coming into those groups and those lodges are then adopting those principles of what everyone else is doing and operating in the assumption that that is the correct way to do it. And then they take to the internet forums to argue with each other forevermore about what is correct and what's not correct. The reality is it needs to have a convention if there's a group of people working together, but actually I don't think any of those conventions could be deemed to be correct. So just run through it again. It's right hand, and you're going to start off with your hand up above your head and pull it down to the forehead, and it's Ateh. Then down the front of the body, so down front of the body to the groin, Malkuth, then up to the right shoulder, ve-Geburah, ve-Gedulah, le-Olahm, amen. Now let's just translate this a little bit. Ateh means to you or to thee, to God. It's a call upon the divine, and how you envisage the divine doesn't really matter. So for some of you, it's going to be the big bearded Christian God sitting on a great big throne up in the heavens, up above the clouds. It's great. For some of you, you will have the exact opposite end, and you'll simply go, God is just the universe. Amongst the New Age community, increasingly I'm hearing people use the word source. We appeal to source, as in the source of life, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's whatever your experience is. It doesn't matter what another person's experience is. I just wish everyone else would understand that concept. So, to you, O God, or Ateh, down here, Malkuth means kingdom. So the kingdom. This is essentially what is manifest. Some people incorrectly interpret this as meaning the world, the earth. When magicians use this term, the earth, they're more referring to the manifest universe, the element of earth. So it's the manifest universe, the kingdom of everything that's physical. So to you, God, is the physical manifestation. Ve-Geburah, this is Geburah on the Tree of Life. This is one of the sapphire of the Tree of Life. So is Malkuth. Geburah, often said Geburah, but actually is with a V if we want to be more correct. Geburah is strength. So strength of God or strength. Ve-Gedulah is Hesed on the Tree of Life. It's another name for Hesed, mercy. So basically it's the strength and the mercy. Le-Olahm, lots of interpretations on this one. I hear every permutation. Generally, we like to think of this as forever. Or, if we really want to be pedantic, across time. So, forever has a chronology, as in there's a beginning, middle, end, except it doesn't end, it just keeps going forever. or we have across time, which is those things in both directions exist simultaneously, time not being necessarily linear. Again, it depends how you envisage these concepts. Across the ages, Amen. I have never yet come across anyone who has a consistent meaning what the word Amen means. So be it, we agree, it is thus, however you wish to think of it. So essentially what we have here are the sapphire on the tree of life, Keter, which is the first emanation, Malkuth, which is 10th, which is the last emanation, ve-Geburah, ve-Gedulah, Hesed. So we're building up the tree of life within the body. Now, it's more than just a case of say those words and make the gestures. If you're doing that, then you're doing what I would regard as an empty ritual, otherwise known as being pointless. You're just doing a set of gestures that another person recognizes as being something of significance, but actually on the inner work, nothing's happening. I'm going to say it again. The external presentation of this ritual is irrelevant. It is what's happening on the inside that is most important. So, the visualizations. At this point, I'm picturing a sphere of light, a brilliant, amazingly bright sphere of light. It is the brightness of God himself. Not an easy thing to visualize. Here is something you may want to do. Go and find yourself a really, really bright light. Place it above your head or stand underneath it. And so what you can do is close your eyes and feel the heat of that light and actually see it there as well. Once you've done that enough times, you now have a representation that you can now visualize. It's a really easy way to visualize these things. Other stuff you could do. I don't recommend this for reasons that will become apparent in a moment. Some people like to use things like tiger balm to place them on these parts of the body. You'll see where this is going, for the heat aspect. So you have both not only the visualization, but you feel it as well. Board of light. I'm now going to pull that board of light down to my forehead. I'm going to allow it to enter into my skull. This is not just a gesture. I'm visualizing and feeling that light coming down and pulling it into myself. So a very strong visualization. Repetition, remember, the first few times, not a great deal happens. Pulling that down. Ateh. I'm going to intone the words. I'm going to intone the words largely for as long as it takes me to have that visualization. If you can do it quickly, you can go Ateh. Or, like a friend of mine, his will be like this. Ateh. You can see how this can get complicated if there's a group of us. Ateh. Hence the convention. It's what works for you. So it's Ateh, but intone it. Intone it is what I'm doing. Now I'm going to pull that light down. It's going to come down through my body, and it's going to go down to my groin and then down through the earth. Now you understand the thing about tiger balm. It goes down through the earth. This is a shaft of light coming down. Not any old light, the light. So I now have a light coming down through the body. Should be quite energizing. Now, if you're doing this right, you will feel warm. The first probably 1,000 times you do this, you won't. You'll feel odd. You might even feel a bit stupid. But with repetition, you'll start to really get that idea. Down through the body. So it's Ateh, Malkuth. Now what's going to happen is I'm going to come across here. Now I've got light coming across through my body in like an infinite cross. ve-Geburah. So not only is light coming across here, but also here, for me, is now analogous to Geburah on the tree of life. Now Geburah is strength. So all of the meditations I've done around strength and all the correspondences with Geburah are here. This is now strong, strong like a bull, that kind of stuff. Comes across the body. ve-Gedulah. Now here is mercy. You see these things in balance, right? This is mercy. So now I have all of the correspondences that go with Hesed on the tree of life. Hesed is where Hasidic Jews, the loving kindness is how they epitomize their philosophy. That's all here. So these things are in balance. So I now have light outwards and downwards. A huge great cross. With repetition, you can start to really feel it and visualize it. Arms come out in front, and I'm going to grasp them together, and guess what? It's another shaft of light coming through the body, out the back. So now we have a beam of light coming this way. le-Olahm. Now, it could be argued this is the 3 dimensions, time and space, and all the rest of it. It could be argued this is the cross of the light of the Lord, the cross of the world, all these different things. You'll find out as you go actually what this means to you. Don't get hung up so much on what this means to other people. What we're after here is not something that you believe in. This is not an article of faith or something to trust. This is just a practice to enhance the visualizations, to get you into a certain way of being. It may be different for different people. Very important point here. If you end up on the forums arguing with other magical practitioners about these kind of issues, you may want to rethink a few things. So it's le-Olahm, amen. Now, at this point, I've got shafts of light, shaft of light, shaft of light, light, kingdom, the world, ve-Geburah, strength, Hesed, mercy. I'm going to build those images up. I will also give you some information about Hesed and ve-Geburah so you know what to balance here as well in terms of the visualizations. Now that is what's going on the inside of a practitioner when they're going Ateh, Malkuth, ve-Geburah, ve-Gedulah, le-Olahm. That is the most important part, those visualizations. Practice, practice, practice. Here's something you may want to do. The better you have access to representations of this kind of stuff, the easier it is to visualize. Because I know at least one of you out there is watching this going, but I'm not very good at visualizing. You don't have to be. It takes practice. So what I would recommend you do, draw it. Draw an outline of a figure and paint in those things. Write those words in as well. Build the representations up. Don't just look at somebody else's picture, say from the books and the manuals and stuff like that, and try and remember it that way. Output those images yourself. Output them yourself. Because once you start to do that, you build up a much more intimate relationship with the symbols and the images and the visualizations. It becomes a lot easier over time. As I say, stand underneath a light. You may want to have a bright thing there. It'll help you visualize. You may want to use a bit of tiger balm on these chakra points, the upper ones. It just helps build up the practice. More to come in the next video.